The National Desk, America's News, now.
Now, more bad news for our bottom line. The U.S. economy shrinks. The numbers the worst since early in the pandemic.
I got to pay a lot more at the gas tank. Every time I go to the grocery store, my bill is higher than the last time I was there.
The reasons behind the slowdown, and we ask an expert, if you're paying more for less, how do you make a little go a long way to tackle those extra costs? And the border battle reaches Capitol Hill.
Is not built to manage the current levels and types of migratory flow.
You've ended Remain in Mexico. You've ended agreements with Northern Triangle countries.
What the head of Homeland Security said while in the hot seat. And our fact-check team investigates Title 42, the bipartisan push to keep it in place, and the White House plan to secure the southern border if lifted. Plus, a crisis in the classroom when it comes to mental health.
I've had a lot of friends come to me telling me that they're struggling.
The new warning from the CDC and a look at just how many students are struggling. This is the National Desk, America's News Now. I'm Eugene Ramirez, and on this weekend edition, we're taking a look at the big headlines of the week and a look ahead at what to expect. The top 4 stories we're following for you right now. The president this week reportedly considering forgiving some federal student loans. A judge putting a pause on lifting Title 42 as experts warn of a surge at the border. The United States could soon send more than $30 billion to Ukraine for its fight against Russia. And the first major bank now forecasting a grim economic future as inflation continues to rise. We start with this week's warning from Deutsche Bank, saying we are headed now for a major recession. In a report to clients this week, the bank's economist saying it's, quote, highly likely that the Fed will have to step on the brakes even more firmly, and a deep recession will be needed to bring inflation to heel. Ahead of the Federal Reserve meeting this coming Tuesday and Wednesday, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell hinted that a 0.5% interest rate increase is coming, saying he favors front-ending the bigger hikes to control inflation, which, as we know, is at a 40-year high. Now, this comes as the World Bank drops a new report, finding we can expect prices to keep going up through the end of the year due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. According to the bank, food prices will go up almost 23% this year worldwide. Ukraine and Russia, both major suppliers of wheat and cooking oil. Also of note, energy prices, including electricity and gas, will soar more than 50% after already nearly doubling last year. Many experts predict the high prices are here to stay, saying the market will not crash anytime soon. However, fears are growing that the economy will after this week's report on the country's GDP. The National Desk's Atra Elnashar takes a look at what's behind our shrinking economy.
A sudden reversal of 6 straight quarters of economic growth. During the first 3 months of 2022, U.S. GDP fell at a pace of 1.4%. Experts say there's a few reasons for the slowdown, like the Omicron surge at the beginning of the year, the war in Ukraine, and an acceleration in private inventory at the end of last year, making the beginning of this year look small by comparison. A bright spot in the report, business and consumer spending grew, but with inflation at 8.5%, Americans are losing spending power, and it's noticeable at the gas pump and grocery store.
I have to buy them when they're on sale and only with the sale flyer, so that way I got to stock up.
A fresh Gallup poll finds 54% of Americans rate their personal financial situation as only fair or poor, while 46% say theirs is excellent or good, an 11-point drop from last year.
I go online and I see what's on special this week.
The issue is top of mind for voters ahead of November's midterms, and lawmakers here on Capitol Hill know it. Thursday morning, Democrats focusing on gas price inflation they say is coming from price gouging by oil companies, now calling for more federal oversight.
The tighter the markets, the tighter the supply, the more chances for manipulation. So our colleagues need to answer the question, are they for transparency or are they not?
Republicans aren't expected to support it, instead calling for more domestic drilling to bring prices down. It's proving to be a big part of their midterm strategy. The National Republican Congressional Committee is out with a fresh batch of ads targeting House Democrats.
We can't afford this.
Blaming their policies, like the American Rescue Plan last year, for inflation. Across the political spectrum, Americans are watching economic indicators closely as fears of a recession are growing each week. Second quarter GDP data will come out this summer, and if it shows another period of decline, that would meet the general definition of a recession. In Washington, I'm Atrell Nashar for the National Desk, America's News Now.
The president of Ukraine says this week's missile strikes in Kyiv show just how little Russia respects the United Nations. The Secretary General of the UN, Antonio Guterres, was just finishing up a visit in the capital city when 5 missiles hit. Officials say at least 6 people were hurt. Meantime, at the White House, President Biden announcing a proposal to send Ukraine $33 billion in aid to fight the Russian military.
The cost of this fight is not cheap. But caving to aggression is going to be more costly if we allow it to happen.
This funding package is also designed to set them up for the long haul. This is to supply the Ukrainian military for the next several months in a fight that we do believe could go on for some time.
Now, that money still has to be approved by Congress, and that's something that could take weeks. Meantime, the UN and Vladimir Putin saying they have agreed on evacuation plans for the city of Mariupol. That city has been heavily bombed for weeks now. Ukrainian officials say hundreds of wounded soldiers and civilians are stuck inside the city's steel factory. A UN spokesperson says Putin has agreed in principle to the UN being involved in this evacuation. According to the UN, at least 5 million Ukrainians have fled since the beginning of the war, thousands to the U.S.-Mexico border. The Department of Homeland Security says it's already processed more than 20,000 Ukrainians through the border since March and is now encouraging them to start the application process in Europe early to avoid being delayed in Mexico, as hundreds have recently been. With the prospect of the pandemic-era policy known as Title 42 being rescinded, there are new questions about how it might impact resources at the border and the ability of law enforcement to keep our country safe. Title 42 allows border authorities to send asylum seekers back to their home countries rather than be processed. Now, it was supposed to be lifted at the end of May, but this week, a judge temporarily blocked that action. According to Customs and Border Protection, 221,000 migrants were apprehended at the border in March. That's the highest in a single month ever reported. Thursday, in a congressional hearing, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas acknowledging the system is already strained as Republicans criticized the changes he's overseen.
You've ended Remain in Mexico. You've ended agreements with Northern Triangle countries.
The people that you're shipping across the country, they're being fed, right?
Congressman,
they're having their health care needs met.
Their
children are attending school, I assume. Who's paying for all that?
In the meantime, Democrats accuse them of grandstanding and politicizing the issue.
Zero interest in border security. They have high interest in border theater.
Experts say lifting Title 42 could overwhelm officials at the border. Our fact-check team took a closer look at the current White House plan to manage a border surge if it comes.
When the president announced he would end Title 42, Democrats and Republicans called on the administration to outline how they plan to secure the border. Yesterday, Secretary Mayorkas released the Department of Homeland Security's plan to secure the southern border if and when Title 42 is lifted. I'm back with Connor from our fact-check team. She's been digging into the Secretary's plan. Okay, so what are some of the main points here?
Well, something that we talked about earlier was our lack of resources to handle 18,000 migrants a day at the border. One way the plan addresses this is by managing the surge and ramping up personnel by adding more than 1,000 border security jobs.
Well, Americans, of course, worried about a rise in crime at the border if Title 42 is removed. Is there a plan in place to address that at all?
Yes, there is. In his memo, the Secretary calls for increasing the use of expedited removal for those who unlawfully enter the U.S. and intensifying efforts to crack down on drug trafficking.
Now, Title 42 is still in place because of that federal order, right?
I mean, it is, but we need some clarity here. Temporary restraining orders have a time limit unless the court gives them an extension. On April 25th, the federal judge only announced his intent to grant the order. So for right now, it has yet to be issued. But we should see some more information clarifying how long this restraining order will last in the next few days.
All right, our fact-check team will continue to follow developments on these and other issues. You can also read this story with links to where the team found their information. It's all on our website. Just go to thenationaldesk.com.
Making headlines this week, the potential future owner of Twitter already facing trouble with the feds. Elon Musk's purchase of 9% of Twitter stock is reportedly being probed now by the Federal Trade Commission. The organization looking into whether or not he bought those stocks to manage Twitter or just to be a shareholder, and whether he reported it properly. Now, Musk made that buy just days before announcing a deal to buy the big tech company outright, a move that has Washington now wondering what it means for the platform and for free speech.
In many ways, Twitter has been a dark place. I hope it doesn't get any darker. There's certainly been our share of complaints about the way it's been run in the past.
Musk telling his followers, meantime, I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter because that is what free speech means. A crisis in the classroom making the CDC sit up and take notice.
Really rapidly and alarmingly escalating rates of youth mental health problems in this country.
We are breaking down the reasons experts say the nation's children are suffering. But first, 5,000 arrests right now tied up in the courts, how one city is working through its massive case log. You're watching the National Desk, America's News Now. Don't forget you can watch us live weekdays from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. We're back after this. This is the National Desk, America's News Now. From the saxophonist spreading joy in Rhode Island to the Ohio high school senior sharing his love for science. We're taking the pulse of America, and we start in Seattle, where prosecutors right now dealing with a massive backlog of criminal cases.
We are making this decision because it's the only way we can begin to return real-time accountability to our misdemeanor criminal justice system.
Calling it a tough decision, Ann Davison told a city council committee she's determined to work through the massive backlog of cases referred to the city attorney's office by SPD. Nearly 5,000 arrests made by police, some dating back more than 2 years, that have sat idle once the cases reach city prosecutors.
5,000 is absolutely not typical.
The backlog increased significantly from 2018 through the end of last year. To reduce it, her office says it is reviewing cases that involve domestic violence, assault, DUI, harassment, and weapons charges. But nearly 1,900 cases involving theft, property destruction, trespassing, non-DUI traffic offenses, and those that have already passed the statute of limitations could be declined.
Unfortunately, we have, been incredibly short-staffed.
Davison hopes to work through the backlog by the end of the year.
Every week at Slater Park in Pawtucket near the pond, besides the birds, people passing by are sure to hear a harmonic tune as 69-year-old Bob LaFerrier jazzes things up a bit with his saxophone.
I play here at the park because of the acoustics,
3 to 4 times a week, he carries a tune. And it all started 30 years ago in 1989 when Bob's pastor got him hooked on the instrument. Ever since, Bob has been using the brass.
I play for free. I don't come here to make money.
To raise people up when they may be feeling low. Not only does he find healing with the horn, but he'll stop at any time to offer an ear.
There was high schools, kids that talked to me about music, that play instruments, and they wanted my advice, and I told them, I said, whatever you're good at, pursue it.
Bob believes music is a universal language that helps him connect with his community. And while he's okay with the fact that he might never be rich or famous, what he gets in return is more than he would have ever imagined.
It lifts me up and it gives me a little self-esteem, and makes me feel good, but, I'm grateful to God about it.
Hi, my name is Brandon.
Using this device, Brandon Hawkins communicates with the world.
I've had a passion for dinosaurs since I was young and started drawing them.
The drawings began in 4th grade, but sadly the drawings stopped in 5th grade. Brandon was hospitalized after struggling to breathe. He went into cardiac arrest and suffered a stroke.
I still have a love for science and dinosaurs and want to share that with others.
Thanks to a passion project class and a lot of help from the staff at Taylor High School, he can.
Somebody said, well, he has sketches of his dinosaur drawings from when he was little, prior to the incident.
After digitizing all of the drawings, the passion project is complete. A coloring book called The Paleo Prince and His Dino Friends.
It was so exciting to see all of the hard work come together.
Having it published and now for sale on Amazon also gives the Hawkins family a shot at finally getting a much-needed upgrade in transportation for Brandon.
The proceeds will go to fund a new wheelchair accessible van that I desperately need.
It has been just a testament to when people come together.
As students head back to school from spring break, more are reporting regular mental health struggles. Much of that stress rapidly escalating during the COVID-19 pandemic. The National Desk's Ryan Smith reports.
Some alarming results in this brand new study just released by the CDC. More than a quarter, 37% of high school students say their mental health took a dive during the pandemic.
I've had a lot of friends come to me telling me that they're struggling.
New insight into the pandemic's impact on America's youth.
Really rapidly and alarmingly escalating rates of youth mental health problems in this country.
Dr. Tali Raviv with Northwestern University sees it firsthand. She's been providing mental health services to teenagers since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Not surprisingly, there was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of stress.
According to the CDC, 37% of high school students reported their mental health was, quote, not good most or all of the time during the pandemic. And nearly half, 44%, said over the past year, they felt sad or hopeless almost every day for at least 2 weeks in a row. Lockdowns and school closures played a role in disrupting critical school socializing.
Those adult relationships, especially at school, are sometimes the first or only place that a teen who is struggling comes to the attention before it gets to a crisis point.
The CDC reported last year that emergency visits for suicide attempts among teen girls were up more than 50% at the beginning of the pandemic compared to the same time in 2019. The U.S. Surgeon General addressing lawmakers in February, sounding the alarm.
Because I'm deeply concerned as a parent and as a doctor that the obstacles this generation of young people face are unprecedented and uniquely hard to navigate. And the impact that's having on their mental health is devastating.
At the end of last year, the American Academy of Pediatrics declaring youth mental health a national emergency. Congress approving more than $111 million for school-based mental health grants this year. In Washington, I'm Ryan Smith for the National Desk.
With prices rising and wages staying the same, a lot of Americans are having to cut back right now. Still ahead, we're talking to a financial planner about what you can do right now to keep your family prepared for those tougher times ahead. Plus,
it completely devalues everyone who's sacrificed to work hard to earn their education.
The president working to fulfill a campaign promise, why his student loan proposal is already getting so much pushback. The Fed's expected interest rate hike will have a huge impact on homeowners as prices continue skyrocketing. Home prices nationwide jumping nearly 20% over last year, and the cost to own continues to go up despite a drop in sales, making it harder than ever for first-time home buyers to break into the real estate market. Now, this week we spoke with a recent home buyer in Florida, which right now is one of the toughest places to buy.
We're halfway desperate, halfway trying to get a good deal. And every time I'll be like, this is the one, this is the house, I got a good feeling. And then they'd say, nope, sorry, you were outbid.
Yeah, home prices in Phoenix leading the way. Prices there surging 32.9%. Tampa and Miami following that. They're both seeing about 32% and 29% gains respectively. Now, those rising interest rates also driving up rent prices. Across the country, rent up nearly 20% on average in 2 years. Double that in cities like Memphis, Tampa, and Riverside, California. But the Miami Palm Beach area in Florida topping them all, up 58%, nearly 3 times the national average. One woman living in that area and renting a townhome for 3 years was paying $2,100 per month. Her new rent now, $3,200.
When there's a hurricane, it's illegal for gas stations to jack up the prices. Why is there not a cap in the state of Florida? Why am I looking at a 43% increase?
Well, it's illegal in Florida to impose rent controls, and right now multiple studies show the Sunshine State is America's least affordable place to live. Right now, many families scrambling to get a financial plan together as we head into a very uncertain economic future. So if we are all paying more for less, how do you make a little go a long way? The National Desk's Megan O'Halloran asking a financial expert about this.
There are a few things that families can do to make a little go a longer way. One is look at your transportation. Gas is top of mind for a lot of folks. So if you live in an area where you can bike instead of drive, definitely bike instead of driving. If you are not in an area where you can do that, consider bulking your errands all on the same day so that you are driving one time out of the week rather than going back and forth multiple days throughout the week.
Well, according to Moody's Analytics, Americans are spending an extra $327 a month from housing to food to gas. It adds up to roughly $3,924 in extra spending a year. You know, there are a lot of families out there living paycheck to paycheck. What budgeting advice do you have for families that are sitting down right now looking at their finances, trying to figure out how to get through this?
Living paycheck to paycheck is financially stressful, and that financial stress can manifest in both your mental health and physical health. And so my tip when it comes to budgeting seems a little out there, but stick with me, is to have a weekly money date where you and your spouse or you and the family are sitting down every week at the same time, same day, talking about not just the expenses and the bills that you have to pay, but also your dreams. Try to make that money date fun where you're talking about the goals that you have as a family.
That's great advice. What would you say to folks, shoppers at the grocery store? Obviously, prices are way up there. How can shoppers stack up savings in the long run? What changes can they make?
There are a couple things that you can do. One is to shop only one day out of the week. If you're going multiple times a week, that's when those sneaky expenses start to add up. So make a list, go one time a week, and on your grocery list, shop according to meals. Make your meals in bulk, where you are making a meal, say, on Sunday, and it lasts throughout the entire week.
All right. And Danitha, of course, a lot of people making tough decisions. If they do have to cut back, what should be the first thing to go? Is it your morning Starbucks, canceling Netflix, or is it something more drastic, maybe skipping out on summer vacation that you have planned this year? And we've even heard of families being forced to surrender their pets because they can no longer afford it. So what kind of small changes can they make if they do have to give something up?
The pets part breaks my heart.
I know.
As a family, it's going to depend from family to family where you cut your spending, whether it's your streaming services or where you eat or vacations. What I encourage, if you decide where you're going to cut your spending, is to decide how you're going to replace that with a lesser expensive entertainment, because you want to still enjoy life. So if you're going to cut out vacations, maybe you do camping trips at national parks instead of those big summer vacation trips.
Danitha, great advice. Thanks for coming on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me, Megan.
Now, if you'd like another look at those tips just shared, we have the full interview posted on our website, thenationaldesk.com. Check it out. A former Marine brought home after 3 years. Trevor Reed's reunion with his family and the wish his mom says she still wants fulfilled. We're back after this. Time for a look at the top trending stories on our website right now. A mom in San Antonio, Texas, says shots were fired into her house after a confrontation with the family of her daughter's school bully. In Pennsylvania, a pit bull named Spuds getting extra attention after attacking and restraining a man police say broke into his family's home. And an Oklahoma City couple on their way to Vegas, tying the knot on the Southwest flight they were on instead. Pretty neat. Those stories and more available right now at thenationaldesk.com. And looking now at the days ahead, the Federal Reserve expected to hike interest rates once again. The Fed's meeting scheduled to begin Tuesday. Chairman Jerome Powell hinting this week that a 0.5% interest rate increase is coming. Also on Tuesday, voters around the country will head to the polls once again. People in 8 states are casting their votes in everything from school boards to congressional primaries. And next Monday, on May 9th, the trial of celebrity chef Mario Batali starts. He's accused of sexually assaulting a woman at a Boston restaurant in 2017. The Russian foreign minister warning his people about the threat of nuclear war. Still ahead, we're talking to a military expert about whether or not that threat is real for us right here in the United States. You're watching the National Desk, America's News Now. Don't forget you can catch us live weekdays, 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 10 p.m. till midnight Eastern Time.
The National Desk, America's News Now.
A look now at some of the top stories we're following for you. Deutsche Bank now predicting the U.S. is headed for a major recession. Economists at the bank saying inflation may be peaking, but will take a long time to get back to normal. The White House's border response in the spotlight as a judge rules it cannot lift the pandemic-era rule Title 42. And the family of a former Marine mourning after he was killed in Ukraine. The family of 22-year-old Willie Cancel says he was with a private military contract company when he died. And taking a look now over Washington, D.C., where President Biden is considering student loan forgiveness. He's already extended the moratorium on payments through the end of August. But as the National Desk chief political correspondent Scott Thuman shows us, he could be wiping some debt off the books altogether.
I'll probably owe around like $33,000.
I have $32,000 of student loans.
50 and above.
43 million students carrying $1.6 trillion in loans and looking to Washington for relief. Some Democrats suggest wiping out $50,000 of debt per student.
I am not considering $50,000 debt reduction, but I'm in the process of taking a hard look at whether or not there will be additional debt forgiveness.
It completely devalues everyone who's sacrificed to work hard to earn their education and pay their way through school. And we want to help people through other programs that exist, like TRIO programs and Pell Grants.
Republicans mockingly ask what's next, auto loans or credit cards, arguing the government's already $30 trillion in debt, so the president looking to use his executive powers instead of congressional approval.
It would seem to violate the spirit of checks and balances, where it's the legislature that's in charge of saying, we're supposed to decide how money is spent, not the president.
Neil McCluskey of the Cato Institute says the president's campaign promise could see legal challenges, and while helpful to some, seen as unfair to others.
The problem with saying, well, higher education should be a right is if you claim a right, then you're telling somebody else, you've got to pay for this thing. Who you're really saying has to pay for it is taxpayers, many of whom won't go to college, many of whom chose not to go to college, to pursue something else, many of whom look for cheaper higher education. And you're saying to them, well, okay, but you should pay for me.
More importantly, some contend it doesn't fix what started it all.
Just canceling student loan debt only solves an immediate problem and leaves the existing system that created the current problem in place. But that's not acceptable either.
The high cost of higher education. In Washington, Scott Thuman for the National Desk.
Now, despite ongoing worldwide tensions, a former Marine is home after Russia agreed to a prisoner swap with the United States. Trevor Reed had been in jail for nearly 3 years, charged with fighting with Russian police. His parents saying his release is an answer to their prayers. However, they're concerned about their son.
The biggest issue is his health.
He looks terrible to us. I mean, as his parents, we know he does not look well. He's very thin.
He was walking strange, and it looked like they had to help him get up in the airplane.
Reed's parents have been advocating for his release for months, staging a protest outside the White House last month before meeting with President Biden. The State Department says rescuing 2 other Americans in Russian custody remains a top priority. Basketball star Brittany Griner has been detained since February, accused by Russia of distributing illegal drugs. And former Marine Paul Whelan has been in Russian custody for more than 3 years now on charges of spying. His family back home in Michigan saying whether or not he is saved is the president's choice. This week, our Jan Jeffcoat asked retired Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis about the exchange of prisoners, why it's happening now, and what it has to do with the larger conflict happening in Ukraine.
This has been going on for many months, so this is not anything new per se, but it finally came to fruition for many reasons we don't yet know behind the scenes. But the one thing that we'll say that there is at least a silver lining and a bit of positive in that this shows that even during wartime, when we're, really antagonistic towards one another, diplomacy is still happening behind the scenes. And those contacts could be useful in the future, especially if we get anywhere close to being able to have a negotiated settlement, or if we can use our ability to help foster a deal between Ukraine and Moscow. And so I think in that regard, it's positive. And certainly it's great that we got one of our prisoners back, and God willing, we'll get the other 2 back shortly.
Right. Something kind of frightening that we're hearing right now. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov told Russian state media that the threat of nuclear war is real and should not be underestimated. Colonel Davis, I want you to take a listen to what Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin had to say about that. And then I'll talk to you on the other side of this. Listen to this.
I think this
any bluster about the use of possibility of use of nuclear weapons is very dangerous and unhelpful. Nobody wants to see a nuclear war. Nobody can win that. There's always a possibility that a number of things can happen, but again, I think it's unhelpful and dangerous to rattle sabers and speculate about the use of nuclear weapons.
What's your thoughts about that?
Well, look, I get it. You want to say it's dangerous to speculate it, but the problem is all of these weapons we keep putting into Ukraine and all the support we keep giving and all the the sanctions that we do, and then the open declarations that we're trying to weaken the Russian armed forces. I mean, what we have to be aware of is that there are reactions and responses to things, whether we like them or not. That is a potential possibility. Adding on top of that, you also had the British Deputy Secretary of Defense a couple of days ago say that, yeah, Kiev can use the weapons that we give them to attack targets in Russia, which they responded to in a very bad way, as you might expect. And they're saying, hey, these things don't come cost-free. This is what the Russians are saying. And they again imply if we keep getting hit with weapons provided by NATO, we will take appropriate countermeasures, however defined. And every bit of that keeps having the possibility of expanding the war and possibly bringing us into it, which would be disastrous. And we have to really, really calculate, how much we should help, how far we should go. Is it going to help Ukraine, or is it possibly going to expand the war? And that's something I don't think we do enough of.
Now, we also asked the Lieutenant Colonel about his recent statement that no matter how much help other countries send, it just may not be enough to save Ukraine. You can watch the full interview right now on thenationaldesk.com. It seems parents are more involved now than ever before in their children's education, thanks in part to those COVID-19 lockdowns. Right now, there are efforts to keep certain topics out of school curriculums all across the country, but there's also some concern that students will miss important lessons. Our fact-check team taking a closer look at this controversy.
Earlier, we spoke about actions different states have taken to restrict or ban certain topics from being taught in schools. Many parents have voiced their concerns with critical race theory, claiming it could have a negative impact on our education system. I'm back with our fact-check team, Janae and Connor, to break it down with us. Janae, we'll start with you. What seems to be the main concern here?
So supporters say that it emphasizes American racism over more unifying elements of U.S. history. And teaches children they must bear responsibility for sins of the past. Now, we've been digging through a new poll that shows there's no clear consensus on how schools should discuss racism. According to a survey by AP, 37% of Americans feel their public schools are focusing on racism the right amount. 27% feel it's too much, but then there's 34% who feel it's not enough. Meanwhile, 65% of Republicans believe parents have too little influence on curriculums, and 62% of Democrats believe teachers have too little influence.
And Connor, I know we touched on this earlier, but some educators think banning critical race theory in the long run could be detrimental.
Yeah, that's right, Megan. And we've seen teachers express this view in protests all across the country. The main concern here is the vague language in the laws, making teachers exceptionally cautious with their words and lessons so that they don't lose their jobs.
Now, you mentioned vague. What do you mean specifically by that?
Well, that's a really good question. Here's an example. I pulled up a recent New Hampshire law. You'll see it bars teaching that any race, age, or gender is inherently superior to another. But educators are not clear on the definition of inherently or superior. Now, New Hampshire teachers asked for definitions from school lawyers, but couldn't get any clear answers. Some teachers call this censorship and worry their students will not learn accurate historical facts.
All right, our fact-check team will continue to follow developments on these and other issues. You can also read this story with links on where they found their information. It's all on our website. Just go to thenationaldesk.com.
Supply chain issues continue plaguing the restaurant industry
on a daily basis.
Coming up, a look at one restaurant feeling the pinch and the future of health care for thousands of veterans now in question. The big changes coming to dozens of VA hospitals. We're back after this. This is the National Desk, America's News Now. Our team of nearly 4,000 local journalists bringing you the headlines from coast to coast. From chronic graffiti problems in Washington to rising restaurant prices in Ohio. We're taking the pulse of America, and we start in West Virginia, where veterans are worried they'll lose medical coverage.
72,000 West Virginia veterans nervous what the future could hold for their VA medical center.
Disappointment that somebody who has no familiarity with our needs would dictate that you should go out into the community and get this care from somebody else.
In March, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs released a 70-page report with recommendations to modernize facilities and realign priorities. Under fire in the Mountain State, 3 could be stripped of life-saving services, such as internal medicine, surgical care, inpatient mental health, and emergency services.
So no emergency rooms at any of those 3 facilities.
The Mountain State is home to roughly 144,000 veterans. Of those, about 50% receive care at a VA medical center in West Virginia.
I mean, it would be a great loss to the state of West Virginia.
The Select Committee on Veterans Affairs, made up of senators and delegates on both sides of the aisle, all fighting the same battle to kill the proposal.
This is something that I think is an extremely bipartisan issue, not just here on the state level, but at the federal level as well.
We owe it to our nation's veterans, our heroes, to make sure that they are taken care of.
In the afternoon, the graffiti stood out against the repainted wall, a new eyesore for neighbors at 12th and Jackson.
I don't think a lot of people want to walk around here.
It's going to be a pretty uphill battle, I think, for this area to stay clean, unfortunately.
By evening, the wall was covered up again, but people wonder for how long.
It seems like it's a losing battle.
Last week, Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell rolled the paint on himself across this wall in Little Saigon as he urged people to volunteer for a One Seattle Day of Service. The mayor chose this corner after the city ran round-the-clock police patrols in the area to crack down on the shootings and the people selling stolen goods along the sidewalks.
And now the police aren't here as regular, so it's just coming back.
Neighbors' opinions varied on how lasting a volunteer cleanup day could be.
It's worth, trying to keep the city clean.
I know the mayor wants everybody to chip in and help, but it's like you're doing it every day then.
Restaurant owners will tell you firsthand the industry is experiencing dramatic price increases in every aspect of the business.
We are literally hemorrhaging money on a daily basis.
And the increased costs likely are already impacting your wallet.
There's a certain amount that you can raise prices, but certainly not enough to go ahead and cover the losses that we're incurring. Without a doubt, this is the worst, most challenging time we've ever seen.
Habanero Latin American Fare is far from the only restaurant facing these issues. You'll find this laminated notice on your table when dining at Taste of Belgium. The QR code directs you to its website, showing a temporary surcharge of 8.5% being added to your check. It also says the surcharge will be removed once supply chain prices return to normal.
There's always that point where people aren't going to pay X, more than X for a certain product or what have you, and they want to be competitive.
So until prices fall, restaurant owners are hopeful customers will support local.
It's certainly not something that I feel good about, but we have to do what we need to do to survive.
A chemical that can cause fertility issues, immune issues, and cancer getting into your food.
One way that it's getting into food is through food wrappers.
And it's being used in restaurants all across the country. Coming up, we're investigating PFAS and why they're being allowed by the FDA at all. And a brutal fight caught on camera, why the parents of one of these students say the school district just isn't concerned. Violent incidents are becoming more and more common in and around schools and school buses all across the country. This week, a brutal fight at a Maryland high school caught on camera. The National Desk's Chris Pabst with our Project Baltimore spoke to the family of the girl attacked, who say the school system is more concerned about protecting its reputation than it is about protecting students.
Oh my gosh! I just remember being very dizzy.
Fawn Cooch is watching one of her worst days, captured on video.
I don't really remember a lot of it very clearly.
Her father can't bring himself to watch it.
I can't do this.
Fawn is a sophomore at Glenelg High School in Howard County. This past January, she was involved in a fight with another student in class who was seen on video, punching her in the head repeatedly. Photographs of Fawn's injuries show bruises to both of her knees, swollen eye sockets, and injuries to her head. Chunks of her hair were lying on the floor.
That's not even all of the hair that she ripped out.
Where was your teacher?
She tried to break it up, and then the girl who attacked me hit our art teacher.
But this family is not only upset about the fight, they reached out to Project Baltimore because of what happened immediately after.
It's like they try to sweep everything under the rug.
Howard County Public Schools is one of the best performing school systems in Maryland. In addition to test scores, graduation rates and college enrollment are among the highest in the state, while suspensions and violent incidents are among the lowest. And this family says that is a reputation the district protects.
I think it just goes back to like Howard County trying to keep everything like contained to its school and not let situations like that get out and damage their reputation.
Fawn says after the fight, she was taken to the nurse's office. She says she was asking the school to call her father, but no one did. Cooch, who was working at the time, says he found out his daughter was injured from his daughter.
By her, correct.
The school system never told you.
Nope.
They never called you.
Nope.
The family then called Howard County Police, who responded to Glenelg. Fawn and her father say administrators tried to talk them out of pressing charges, asking them to let the school handle it. Fawn plans to press criminal charges anyway, likely second-degree assault, against a 9th grader in this video.
I want to press the charges because obviously what I experienced was very impactful on like my education and like my daily life.
Howard County Schools declined an interview to discuss this family's allegations that the district is more concerned with protecting its reputation than protecting its students. Instead, we received a statement that avoided the issue, saying, since the incident and any associated responses involve minors, we are unable to discuss it publicly. Adding, the Howard County Police Department confirmed they, too, are unable to clarify the facts of the incident since it involves juveniles. Before this fight happened, did you feel safe in school?
Yes.
Do you feel safe now?
No.
Project Baltimore cannot obtain a student's disciplinary record due to privacy laws. But according to Fawn, the other student was suspended for 4 days and returned to school.
My grades have suffered a lot because I'm so like stressed and like worried about making it like in between classes or making it like during lunch, that's like my main thought during the day, and I find it hard to focus on my schoolwork.
Her father can't focus either.
I'm worried every day that something's going to happen. I do feel helpless, because I'm not in that school every day with her.
I'm Chris Pabst, and this is Project Baltimore.
A toxic chemical being held right in the palm of your hand. Which food wrappers contain cancer-causing ingredients and why they're passing inspections? Coming up. For years now, environmental groups have been warning about the dangers of PFAS, a group of forever chemicals linked to cancer and some other serious illnesses. While much of the focus has been on these chemicals' contamination of our water and land, a Spotlight on America investigation reveals that we've been holding PFAS in our hands this whole time. The National Desk's Dwayne Pullman explains.
America loves fast food. Every day, 87 million people in the U.S. consume these quick meals. That's a third of us. We've been warned for years about how unhealthy it is to eat all that fat, salt, and sugar. But there's another threat on the outside, in the containers and wrappers of some of the most popular fast foods in America.
People may not realize the extent to which PFAS is also in food, and that one way that it's getting into food is through food wrappers.
Melanie Benish is a legislative attorney for the Environmental Working Group, specializing in PFAS, or per- and polyfluoral alkyl substances, known as the forever chemicals.
It's forever chemicals because they never go away.
That's right.
Hundreds of scientific studies connect PFAS to serious health issues, including reduced fertility, low birth weight, immune issues, and prostate, kidney, and testicular cancers. Yet PFAS continues to be a component in fast food packaging. It's that waxy substance that forms a barrier to grease.
No one's thinking about, am I getting a dose of toxic chemicals just by eating this food?
I do think that that's an important question.
Kevin Loria published this comprehensive piece for Consumer Reports after testing for PFAS in common food wrappers and packaging.
We found evidence for PFAS in over half of the items that we tested,
including high amounts of PFAS on packaging surrounding some of the country's most iconic burgers, chicken sandwiches, nuggets, and fries.
You look at some of these really popular products, and the fact that we found some of the levels that we still did, it is indeed, I think, still surprising.
I've been studying this for years and I'm still shocked.
The results are stunning, but PFAS has been a part of fast food packaging for decades. In 1966, DuPont asked the Food and Drug Administration to approve adding PFAS for food containers. But after DuPont's own documents revealed the chemicals could harm the liver and kidney, the FDA rejected that request. A year later, DuPont lowered its estimates of how much PFAS migrates from packaging to food. And in 1967, FDA approved it.
And they knew it.
And they knew. They knew that PFAS could harm people. The early warning signs were there.
FDA declined an on-camera interview with us, instead issuing a statement saying addressing potential health effects of PFAS exposure is a priority for the FDA, and we continue to review PFAS and food contact applications to ensure their uses are safe. DuPont no longer manufactures PFAS, and the FDA did ban some of the original PFAS formulas in 2016. But dozens of other versions of PFAS are still being used, lining everything from pizza boxes to microwave popcorn bags, and of course, coating the containers and wrappers surrounding fast foods.
It's in everything.
The FDA is recommending getting rid of all PFAS in food packaging by 2025, and most fast food giants are agreeing to ditch PFAS. But there's no mandate for others to follow their lead, which leaves organizations like EWG continuing a fight to eliminate PFAS in all food containers, a fight Benish says should have wrapped up years ago.
How frustrating is that?
It's incredibly frustrating because this is the FDA's job.
I'm Dwayne Pullman for Spotlight on America.
And that's it for this weekend edition of the National Desk, America's News Now. Don't forget, you can catch us live from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 10 p.m. till midnight Eastern Time. Check your local listings. You can also watch us online and catch up with all the latest headlines on thenationaldesk.com. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Eugene Ramirez. Have a great rest of your weekend.